Hey Hunters, welcome back. So today I've been playing the, was it Frostbite Being for a couple days now, and I've made some improvements on the first video. So we'll do a quick dummy. Right on a bill and a half now. A little bit more if I do that. And real quick, we are achieving this primarily through, uh, we changed around the slate. So we wanted to get extreme coldness to ensure that we always have like 40 to 60 frostbite on targets because we have winter on our belt that gives us additional damage per 2 frostbite. And I just happened to get lucky with this one. This is basically a 4 prop. But then we're still going for shadows. I was able to get focus blessings because we're freezing all the time, and then just additional damage. And then here I just got another 4 prop damage slate. Our gear is pretty much the same. This is the belt in question, winter. You don't have to get it on this belt, but it was a good way to get fervor and just a big chunk of damage. So blind vision, well, I guess most of the damage is from the projectile, so blind vision is still worth, but the rest of the gear is still the same. So enough yapping. Blast quick T8. It's just same thing. Hold down right click and then spiral strike around. You can use things like what's the activation medium called? Still attack or root attack. So we can see there that one of the main uh, weaknesses that the build has is that if I, well, stand in explosions, son of a bitch, 2800 HP problems. But if you whirl into a pack, basically in between throws, then you can get gibbed. So I don't know. There's a couple of different ways I think I could get around this. Giving up a dagger for a shield, going block, but you could just also be more proactive about throwing in front of you. Or I mean, it basically auto targets, so I just have to not dash straight in. But targeting is pretty good. Damage feels great. And I think what I'm gonna have to go for next is um, corroded daggers, or maybe even switching to a crafted one. Nice, because that'll get us at least 100 more DPS on weapons. That's what's all getting multiplied, so it seems worth. Passives, we're still hunting and marksman, but I'm trying out close range fire. So given that like Bing talents work the way they do, where when you throw the bomb, enemies and adjacent to it have like extra damage. Um, I'm just assuming that this works that way because it's like relative to where like the shadow strike is or something. Um, Three birds, one stone is not bad, but it's actually kind of bait because I didn't even read this, but the way Frostbite works is uh, fires extra projectiles per frostbite, and then the max number of projectiles per this skill is 5. So Bing's trait gives you 2, and then boom, you're capped already right there. So all you're really getting from two birds is uh, or three birds rather, is just the additional projectile damage, which is not nothing. But if this works the way I think it does, then then this is better because basically all your projectiles are shotgunning from each frost spike. So in theory, that's like when they have the shortest projectile travel distance. So that's when they would do the most damage. Warlock, basically the same. Off the beaten track to run auras, and then the slates. So there's a lot of room to improve here. These are pretty basic. I haven't even fully crafted them yet. But as far as I can tell, shadows are basically the best thing you can get for shadow strike skills. Who would have thought? Um, but the yeah, it's actually pretty. It's easier to see here on the dummy. So if you look at the frostbite rating, even after our freeze goes off, it still sticks around, and 60-ish is the minimum. So with this guy, so we're using this one mainly to every time it hits a non-frozen enemy, just applies 40. So this instantly brings us there. And then the belt with winter is just giving us super consistent additional damage across the board. Now, steamroll versus added fizz, I'm still experimenting, but at this point, I'm just trying to go for the biggest multipliers I can. Um, soul candles definitely need to be upgraded. These are just movement speed, but I want shadow strike or extra shadows here, I think. Um, then if I get a little bit more mana reservation, I'll be able to fit uh, what's it, the fizz imbue, and then that'll be a big chunk more damage as well. But overall, really fun build. I think like this same setup would work just fine on other characters. Rahan 2 would probably be a pretty strong contender, um, just damage wise, and then it's also a uh, hands-free playstyle. So I might even just end up moving this gear over to a fresh character once I'm done with Bing. But I'm enjoying this sort of archetype, so I think I'm going to stick with this character for a while, see if I can push it into 8.1, 8.2, and then we'll take it from there. So thanks for liking, subscribing. If you're playing the build and have some insights, please comment. Please let me know. Appreciate likes, subscribes, and all that. So see everybody next time.